purpose so true. But when I'm miles, we honor you. With faith and courage, the journey began. Building a platform for every man. Through trials and growth, the light stayed strong, turning every challenge into a purpose so true. But when I'm miles, we honor you. With faith and courage, the journey began. Building a platform for every man. Through trials and growth, the light stayed strong, turning every challenge into a
Susan, once you're ready, you let me know.
Okay, so I would think our guest, uh, the co-host. Hello.
Are you ready?
I'm not saying the guest in studio. That's the same I've seen.
I think you can start. He's going to be joining very shortly.
Okay, my co-host is not in studio yet.
Okay. So we should take the song again.
Yeah, take the song for like 2 to 3 minutes. Then we'll start now, please. Purpose so true. But when I'm miles, we honor you. With faith and courage, the journey began. Building a platform for every man. Through trials and growth, the light stayed strong, turning every challenge into a Okay. Am I audible?
You are. You are.
Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everyone. You are welcome to the Matters TV visual show, as you all know. Thank you all. I'm your host today. I'm Kevin S. Mbala, and tonight we'll be discussing on the topic what faith still matters in today's world. So today the topic is more the purpose is like the dignity to identify yourself as a human out there. So today our guest will be joining us shortly. But before our guest join, we'll have to allow our panelists to please introduce themselves before we proceed.
All right, thank you so much. So the name remain constant, Bonan D. Maras. And I'm so excited tonight joining the team for this great show tonight. Thank you so much. So the name just remain constant, Bonan Maras. Thank you, Susan.
Yeah, Mr. Mo, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Miss Susan. And I'm Alfred P. Moore from India. And I want to say good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever your location is. Once again, we say welcome to the Miles Television. And to our guest, we say you are welcome. We are happy to see you on our platform tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, now we'll go to my co-host for tonight. Can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you, Miss Bala, and good evening, morning, afternoon, and hello to everyone, our beloved followers. And it's good to see our guests for tonight in studio. Good evening to you, Mr. Gibson. It's good to have you on. And we are actually looking forward to a very insightful and experience based conversation tonight on faith and identity. So, ah, without further ado, let's have it tonight. Let's educate our people and have a great conversation. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dodo. Okay, now we'll turn over to our guest for the night. Can you please introduce yourself, sir? Mr.
Me.
Gibson?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're clear.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Oh, okay. So, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Where is Lee T. Gibson? I am a student in China where I study project management at the Yunnan University of Finance and Economic. And I'm so happy to be here tonight to have a very fruitful discussion for educating our youth, our young people in society, our parents, schoolgoers, and whoever in society. So I'm happy to be here tonight. Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to having a great show tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gibson. On behalf of the Maris TV, you are welcome and thank you for accepting our invitation to appear on the show today. For those that are just joined us, you are listening to the Maris TV. You are welcome. Share the link with other people so that they can follow. Because tonight's discussion is what explain matters to today's world. Stay tuned as we come to go deeper into the discussion. 1 minute music, please.
Oh, my TV, light in the world. My TV.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Okay, now we are going to go into our topic for tonight. The word says friend faith as a source of value in leading, not division. Okay, now we are going to go into the goal. First thing we have to know is what is faith? Before we invite our guest, Mr. Mo, can you please take us someone talking about faith beyond ritual? What does it exactly mean?
Okay, thank you so much. Uh, Once again, like I said, I'm Alfred Timo. So basically, if we actually come across the word faith, uh, when we look at the biblical concept, is in the sense that uh, something that you believe in, something that you have hope in, that that you are actually not seeing, but you actually believe that this thing will happen. If we look at the particular example that we have, like for instance, we have faith in ourselves that if we actually study, we are going to make the pass. So it's all about your belief. It's all about how you believe and how the hope that you carry. That's how we actually understand the concept of it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moon, for that wonderful contribution. We said what I grabbed is faith beyond ritual is all about some things you believe in. Okay, I get that. We are learning here tonight. Okay, Mr. Myers, what do you say when someone says that faith has a moral compass? How does that sound to you? Can you please make us to understand?
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity again. So let me speak from our social perspective. Like my brother Radi said, mostly when we talk about faith, is that confidence, right? That shift one minds in whenever there is a negative or circumstances that might come away, right? And that concept that shift one minds that tell you that yes indeed I can do this thing, I can make it. So in my own word, I look at faith to be a confidence given to an individual, that strengthen you whenever you try to, say to yourself, no, I cannot. And it strengthen you, it give you that power, that authority to say, no, I can make it, and it help you to boost your confidence in doing those things. You do extraordinaries that people don't expect of you. So just to say to you tonight from the topic, I look at faith to be, that extra feelings or extra confidence that one had to overcome those challenges or situations that might comes, their way. So I'll stop there for now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Myers. From all what you said, one thing I covered there was like faith is confident that shape one's mind. We are getting there tonight. Okay, now to my co-host. When someone said that what faith exists across culture, so looking at faith as the aspect of faith and coming to the cultural aspect of faith. So what do you think? What really comes to your mind? Can you please tell my viewers out there?
Thank you so much for that beautiful question. And I like the way, you know, other questions were being answered by our panelists. We looking at faith in the modern context. It's all about our belief. And I mean, we need not be so religious about this thing. We are Christians, we are Muslims, we are Buddhists, we are Hindu, blah blah blah. Yeah, but in the modern world, I mean, ancients of days or ages of years have gone past, and we are into the modern era. So whatever we are defining should be defined in the modern context. So, like they all said, and I just can't go outside that. Faith is all about our moral grounding, our belief system, what we believe in, right? And what we actually hope in. It's actually one thing that gets us going. It's one thing that actually defines who we are as people. Now, looking at the religious side, so in few words, I would say that it's our belief, it's our trust, and actually our moral grounding, what we believe in, what we hope to achieve, and what are those guidelines we want to follow instead of just being religious. But it's good that we be open-minded and actually align to what is happening in the 21st century. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bruno. Like from what I got from you tonight is here, faith is all about our belief system and it's divine us. So it's like about the wording system. Thank you for that. So now without going deeper into the conversation, if you are just joining us, welcome to the Marius TV. And tonight we are discussing what faith might us into this world. So now we go to faith and values. So now turning forward to our guest for tonight. If it comes to faith and value, Mr. Gibson White, so you have 10 minutes to teach all tonight.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm very sorry for the breakthrough. I went out because of the internet. As you may be aware, for us in China, we have to use VPN. So once it's down, you are off the internet. So, however, I'm glad to be back. And thank you again for this opportunity. I want to be grateful to the Myers TV family for organizing such a great programs. It's actually interesting where we come, we share our ideas, we share our thoughts, we share our knowledge, and we impact our listeners by our ideas and our experiences. So thank you very much, and I also want to appreciate our listening audience. Thank you for the time. Thank you for your support, and we are here again to discuss. This is my second time on this platform, and I would love to be here. So we have a very interesting and fascinating discussion tonight, which is understanding faith and moral values in our Christian faith. So we have to share our different ideas from different perspectives, from different experiences, and from different thoughts and what have you. So it's actually good to be here tonight. So let's dive into our discussion. When we talk about faith, I think some of you try to give your ideas, your knowledge, and your wisdoms about faith. So, from a biblical perspective, what is faith, and also from the secular perspective, and what is faith also. So, it's interesting to discuss this. But let's be honest, life doesn't, life today is not really simple or easy, right? So we face with pressure at school, stress at work, challenges at home, and a lot of noise online. So the big question is, how does our Christian faith help us live right in the work, in the work that God has given us in this world? So if we want to answer that, we have to know the biblical definition of faith. What does faith really mean? And when we hear the word faith, what comes to our mind? Many people think it only means going to church or believing God, but faith is much deeper than that. So, from the biblical perspective, if you read the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So that is the biblical perspective of faith. And then if we want to look at the secular perspective, and maybe one may argue that faith is something like you believe in yourself, you believe in something you do, you believe in the strength you have, and what have you. But in simple terms, faith means trusting God. Even when we don't have all the answers, but we still place our faith, we still place our hope, we still place our everything in God. For some students and young people or youth, faith is choosing to do the right things at school. Maybe you have a situation where you have to decide rightly, and then you do the right thing. You as a student leader, you do the right thing. Many believe is the act of faith, but we have to, we have to deeply focus on the biblical definitions and the biblical calling of faith. Even when friends are pressuring you to cheat, friends are pressuring you to lie, friends are pressuring you to like to do the wrong thing, but because of that biblical faith that faith you have in God, it will always lead you to do the upright things, to do the good things, to do the rightful things, and what have you. But let's say for parents, how do they look at Faith. There are other parents that faith is trusting God with all your children's future. For parents, while still teaching them values and prayer for them daily, they have their faith in God. They trust their children with God, their children's future, that tomorrow their children going to be someone great in society. So that's their faith for them. This is how they place their faith in God. But for everyone, faith shows up in our choices, right? Faith, it shows up in our choices, the choice we made, the decision we take, and what have you. Not just words. So if we look at faith, we are talking about a whole big discussion here, right? But let us see the two kinds of faith. So tonight we will not discuss much because we still have more time in this week to discuss. So maybe we'll just do the introductory part and then we can continue in the next session. But the two kinds of faith it may be number one, we have their faith, and then number two, we have a real faith. So if you read the book of James chapter 2, James chapter 2, verses 14 to maybe 19. So let's see James chapter 2, verse 14. It says, what good is it, my brethren, if a man claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save him? 15, it says, suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. 16, if one of you says to him, go, I wish you well, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about his physical needs, what good is it? 17, it says, in the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accomplished by action, is dead. So we say we have number one, the dead faith, faith without actions, and we have the real faith. So God is telling us that how can you see your brethren, he is out of food, he is out of clothes, and then you just wishing well, say, brethren, go, I wish you everything, I wish you well in everything you do. I wish you well in everything you place your hand on, but without taking actionable actions by helping, by providing the needs to that person. But you believe that you have faith that this person will be what? We have food to eat, we have a shelter, we have everything. We start doing something. So the Bible describes that action as what? Their faith. It is not with action. So if we must have that biblical faith, we must start to take action, not only to believe, not only to believe in the Bible, yes, indeed, not only to believe that God exists, yes, the devil also knows that God exists, but our actions. So God is saying that if you have faith and then there is no actions, it is a dead faith. So the real faith now is, let's see verse 19. So verse 19 says, you believe that there is one God. Good. Even the demon believe also, yeah. So let's see verse 18, sorry. But someone will say, you have faith, I have these. Show me your faith without these, and I will show you my faith by what I do. So this is the real faith. It's not only about believing, it's not only about obeying, but it's about what? Taking actions. So if we must put on the faith, the Christian faith, we must start to learn how to take meaningful action in society, meaningful action in our choices, meaningful action in our workplaces, in everything we do. So we should have that actionable actions, in our behavior that will represent our faith, that will represent our Christian identity. So that is the two kinds of faith. We have the dead faith and the real faith. So that's what the Bible says in James chapter 2, verses 18. But let's look at faith and moral value at school and among young people, because we're talking about young people. I think this topic is centered around young people. So let's start with young people. School life comes with peer pressures, right? Even social media influence and the desire to fit in. Nowadays, everybody wants to fit in society. It's like social media has taken the order of the day. Most of the things that we do, we do it without internet, right? I mean, we do it with internet. We cannot do these things without internet. So social media influence in in all of that. So the Bible advises us. If you read the book of Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it says what? Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So that means that if we have faith and if we are young people and we want to have that faith, we should be mindful of our our peer pressures. We should be mindful of social media influence, and we should be mindful of everything around us. Mind, because we are not here to be conformed to these things in the world. But some of us, we are being carried away by social media influence. So, and that alone, it can cause our faith to be a dead faith, because we have been controlled, we have been influenced, we have been influenced by social media, we have been influenced by by our surrounding. So do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So I'll give you a practical example. For example, a student refuses to bully others, to spread rumors online, or cheat doing event, or cheat doing let's say exams, or even cheat in relationship, even it will cost that person their popularity, even if it will cost that person their dignity, but they refuse to do some of these things because of their faith. So they have their faith in God, they have their faith in the biblical teaching. So it always guides them too. So that is why we should be very mindful and we should be very careful of our faith, how we are operating in our daily life and in everything that we do. So we move to the faith and moral value in society, in the church. So we have faith and we have moral value. So some of these moral value, uh, you know, is is like we have forgotten the biblical morality, and most of the time people are focusing on the societal morality. But we have to be mindful. How do we synchronize biblical morality to that of societal morality? Even though there are huge difference, because what the Bible may classify as being moral, it might not be what society will teach. It might not be the societal morality, but we have to be mindful of how we, how we cope with the both, because they are both important. For example, it is morally right to have a one partner and to be faithful to that partner. But biblically, it is morally wrong to have one partner and you are not married to that partner, even though you are faithful, or even though you are committed to that relationship. But society will say, "Oh yes, this person is has a moral character because he or she is committed to his or her relationship." But biblically, this person is living in fornication because it's not the moral lessons, or it's not the moral standard that God has given us. So when we talk about morality or values of morality, we have to look at the biblical aspect and that of the societal aspect of morality, so we can know how to balance the equation. So for for the morality, let us look at some category of morality, right? Number one, what morality means in the first place. When we talk about morality, the value of moral or personhood, the value. So if you want to be morally right, you should have integrity, number one. And under integrity, you should be transparent. So you see, how many young people today are very transparent in our society? Look at our society, for example, Liberia. If young people are called to serve, how many of them will serve with transparency in public offices, in businesses? How many of them will serve with what? With transparency. How many of them are transparent? So these are, some category of morality that is both biblical and what in a societal, right? Because if you want to be transparent, it's biblically balance to be transparent, and also it is what societal balance to be what transparent. So number two, let's look at discernment. How many young people today? How many young people in our society will take the rightful decision, will be judged in their decision? How many young people will judge rightly? Like you will not look at this person and favor this person over this person and take decision and allow your decision to be influenced because of your proximity. How many of us will be very, just in our thinking? How many of us will be very balanced in our judgment, regardless of the person closeness to us? How many of us? But because maybe someone is close to you, you might be biased because of this closeness to you. You might be biased. Some practice this in their social life or both politically and what of you. If they are supporting a certain group of people, they become biased. Even if that people do wrong or if that person does wrong, they become biased because of what they are lacking discernment. So this is not morality. You don't have that character of being of you don't have that moral character because morality is centered around our character. So number two, the value of moral relationship. So we talk about love. So this is one of the characteristics of what or true morality. Even the Bible teaches about what love. They say what we should love one another. We should love our Lord and our God, and we should love our fellow brethren. So how many of us today love our fellow men? How many of us today love love our God creation? How many of us? How many of us love God? So if we must be morally right, meaning we have to balance the biblical love and that of the societal love. So if we're talking about love, we're talking about forgiveness. How many of us can forgive our friends so easily if they do us wrong? How many of us? So we're talking about also we're talking about forgiveness. We're talking about peace. We're talking about
Uh,
loving.
Mr.
So
Gibson,
yeah.
you draw my attention to something, especially in your explanation. We may like to know because we are running out of time now. Because we're talking about faith and value, but now, like, per your explanation, mostly you're talking about the biblical aspect of faith. So, in case I'm not a Christian, I don't believe that God exists. So how can it work for me? How do you think I would get that feeling? Like, we have other people, they are not Christian, they don't believe in God. So how do you think they can build up that faith from your explanation? Because you said faith is much deeper. You have three
Okay.
minutes for
So
that, please.
if you are okay, so if I got your question right, if you are not a Christian, how do you practicalize morality because true faith, right? I don't know. That what you meant?
Yes, because based on your explanation, it's all about the Christian, the religion, the Christian aspect. So I'm asking now if you are not a Christian, how will you convince me when it comes to faith, to build a faith? Because you talk about Hebrew, you talk about trusting God. So, definitely if I'm not a Christian, one thing is I won't believe that there is a God. So how will I have that type of faith to balance it with the value aspect?
Okay, so that is why societal norms exist, right? We have things written in our constitution, right? Or sometimes it be in bylaw or constitution, whatever organization you may be in or you may find yourself in, right? Sometimes you don't have to be Christian before before you have that good conduct or before you have a good moral value. So sometimes the societal rules or sometimes the societal laws can help you also to have that moral value in society. And you don't really have to be Christian before you become somebody good in society. Yes, so that is what I said. If you are a Christian, you should try to balance your moral values with the Bible because you are a Christian. You have something that you believe in But if someone doesn't have something that they believe in, like they don't believe in God, then they can also adapt to the societal norms and they can still become somebody better in society. So it's doing the rightful thing, the upright things in society.
Okay. Thank you. If you are just joining us, this is the Myers TV. Tonight we are discussing what explain matters into this world. So before we go further, I will ask our panelists if it comes to Mr. Dolo, if it comes to faith and value, what the contribution, please? You have 1 minute, please. Mr. Dolo,
Okay, I'm sorry. I heard like Mr. Moore. You know, I'm so obsessed with this guy. I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, it's all been said by our guest, and I would just like to share what I have to say tonight about this faith and identity. You know, Kebe, they all work hand in hand. Faith, identity, value, all these things are correlated. And they are very important for our development. They are very important. When I mean development, is our personal development, right? And then being seen on the outside by our achievements. And you see the way we go about in this life, how we correlate with people, how we coexist with people, how we work with people from home, to the school or to the job site, in the marketplaces or wherever we go. And our faith, like we said earlier, is our belief. Be a Christian, a Muslim, Buddhist, a Hindu, whoever you are, whatever religion you are part of, your faith is what you actually believe in. It could be a supreme God, it could be something else, right? It could be your career path, it could be your relationship goal, something that you actually believe in. That's your faith. That's your moral grounding that you have. That's the value you possess. And if we look at identity, to link identity with our faith, the questions are being asked in our modern setting these days. Like, people kind of finding where they belong and the kind of group they belong to. Like, we all are looking for who we are. Like, somebody might ask the question, who really I am? Who actually I am? So you are looking for your identity, and you just cannot answer that question without you discovering your level of faith you have. Remember, faith is what you believe in, that thing which you believe in. So we asking ourselves, who am I? What do I stand for? That is the value. That is the value you carry. That is the character you possess. Do you possess a character focused on, or a value focused on patience, commitment, integrity, honesty? You know, and if we are able to answer these questions, who am I, and what do I stand for, and why do I matter? Why do I matter the most in my family, in society, amongst my peers? Why do I matter the most? So, if one can answer these three questions, out of the points being spoken out by our guest, then they can actually understand where he's coming from, be it from the Christian setting, be it from the Muslim setting, or wherever religious setting he's coming from. But I think we need to step this conversation up. We have to escalate in a sense that we can balance the faith and the modern era, like he smartly mentioned about the environment is noisy. The dispensation we now live in, the life we now live, is very noisy. You have distractions everywhere. You have frustrations everywhere. You have failures coming everywhere. You have denial coming everywhere. You have a lot of bad things happening, chaos happening everywhere. But if you know who you are, if you can discover who you truly are and what you stand for and why do you matter the most in society, in that community, then you can be able to level up your faith. So I'm going to end here and we take that higher in the next phase. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dodo. One thing again that you said, knowing who you are, identifying who you are. Oh, that's nice. So, if you are just joining us, this is the Myers TV, and today we are basically discussing on the topic what fits the matters into this world. So, before we go further, Mr. Mo, do you have anything to add on the faith and value?
Yes, thank you. So basically, when we actually talking about faith, faith is actually the foundation of our relationship with God because faith it make us to believe in God's words beyond any circumstances. So now, uh, when we talk about faith and values, faith is like the foundation of showing your real identity that you actually believe in God, that you're actually a true believer. Because if you say you are a believer, that means you have faith. And a believer will also show your identity. Okay, this person is actually a believer and this person is actually standing firm with God. Because like if you read the scripture, it says without faith, it is impossible to please God. So what am I trying to say? That if you are a Christian, if you don't have faith, that means that you are not peaceful. That means you are not actually a true believer. And that shows that you don't have a good value when it comes to Christianity. You don't show your identity as a Christianity. Because how can you say that you are a Christian and you don't have faith? And that means that you are not pleasing God. So yes, if you do have faith, that means that it actually shows the foundation of you being a believer. I will stop here for tonight.
Okay, if you're actually following us tonight, based on the whole discussion I've been going on tonight, basically you understand that we are discussing faith, value, and identity. So first, you need to have faith. Second, you need to know your value. And third, you need to know who you are. So I don't know if my viewers are following because what I'm getting is what is actually unfolding tonight. So now we move to Mr. Myers. Mr. Myers, can you please take 1 minute of your time to just give us short thing while you talk about fit and value, please?
Thank you so much. So, like I said to you previously, when we look at faith, I look at faith in my own way as one gain that confidence. I said it before, of overcoming those situations that may arise, or come before them. So, from you look at from the medical context, we look at faith to be a place where we stand as an empathy, right? When one are been broken, won't feel like there is no hope for them. Maybe let's say for practical example, we have a patient who maybe there have been all those tactics that have been carried on that particular patient, and there is nothing again to be done, right? And what we mean for that patient is just a time to just get expired. But in your own mind as a medical practitioner, right, you stand on ground of having that faith in yourself, right? You know to yourself that this patient with the kind of condition they are right now, I don't think they can come from all of it, right? You have tried, all the medical things you have done it, but you feel like this person cannot. I don't think, but you gain that confidence within yourself, like no, I think, they can, and you try to motivate them and try to use some words of encouragement. So basically I look at faith when we are in a situation where we are being broken, where sorrow comes in, where we feel like we can no longer make it, right? uh it's not just about the Christianity aspect, but believing in yourself, right? As an individual, feel like I don't think I can make it again. But you regain that confidence and say to yourself, I can overcome this particular thing. I can pass over it. And faith help you gain that confidence, that thing within yourself. It just plays certain area in you, like whenever you try to give up, it's like it speak to you and say, no, you can make it, right? It's like you can, no, I can make it. So faith always give one the confidence, give you the ability of overcoming those challenges or situation that arises, be it from whatever side we look at it, right? Whether from the social side, we talk at your spiritual side, whatever side we look at, it just gain that confidence of saying to one that yes, I can do it. And once you do it, automatically your faith have allow you to overcome. I'll stop there for now. You know,
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Myers. Okay, if you are just joining us tonight, tonight is you are welcome to the Myers TV, and tonight we're discussing on why faith matters into this one. So, Mr. Gibson, we get to because now we are just discussing about faith. So we come to like share moral values. We have honesty, we have compassion, we have responsibility. But I want you to discuss makes me basically on honesty, the comes of honesty of the share value. How you look at your thing, please you have 2 minutes, Mr. Gibson, please.
I think this is one of the places that we have problem in our society today when it comes to honesty, because we have a lot of young people, a lot of people out there. Are you hearing me? I'm getting feedback.
Yes, sir, you are clear from my end.
Okay, I'm getting feedback from Tolo. Okay, thank you very much. So, like I was saying, that this is one of our major problem, right, in our society, honesty, because we have many people in the diaspora, many people around the world who wants to, to establish businesses or companies in whatever in our country or wherever they are from, right? But they look at the honesty level of the people, and when they identify or when they discover that honesty is lacking, they cannot go further with that investment. So, and in a much, we have one person who has that capacity or who has that ability to invest in something and to establish a business, but he or she noticed that because of honesty, she's no longer going to to adventure around that investment, or he's no longer going to adventure around that investment. So it creates problems. So today, I think honesty is something that we have to we have to practice in our society, because to be honest is to be real to yourself firstly, is to be real to other, is to to be factual, is to be truthful and everything. So we have to see how best to work on that, because many of our people in our society today, they are not honest. There is no honesty today. Even in relationship, we better find honesty. You will find a young guy or young lady who is in a good relationship, but she's not still honest. Yeah, in that relationship. So I think honesty has the lack of honesty has affected every spectrum in our society today, and I think it's a good thing for us to discuss today, so that we can see how best we can share our knowledge, and that will help other people to build up that honesty, or to be truthful in whatever it does. I mean, whatever he does or whatever she does, so that we can see how best to make our society a better place. Yeah. So thank you, and I will stop. I will stop here for that.
Okay, thank you. What I get from your point is honesty means to be real to yourself, but the challenge we
Yeah.
face in our generation is we are lack of honesty. Thank you for that. I'm sure that after this show, we will learn to be honest. We will set the example out there. Mr. Mo, okay, Mr. Myers, if it comes to compassion, if it comes to share moral values, when you talk, if it comes to compassion, how you look at it from the share moral values?
students, you know, and I know that you are from the medical field. You understand that the major thing that keep us there is showing compassion, which we call empathy to people. Is something that we need to do today. A lot of us have been uh, had not been doing these things, and it has been a serious challenge or challenges within our setting today. We don't want to be, we don't want to take people as we take ourselves, right? Like our brother quoted some scriptures and other things, but let's look at it on the broad field, right? You as an individual, in order for you to love people and other things, we you should show that compassion to people. You should have that feelings. There are a lot of us today, we lack that feelings for others. We don't see others as we see ourselves. We always feel like we live in a desperate situation today that most of us we feel we take ourselves so special from people, and which of course we are not. We are not. We all are humans. When you go and check our blood, every one of us we had the same blood. The only thing that is that there to be different, maybe the blood types. These are things that will be different, but we all have the same white blood. We all have the same red blood cells. All these things are running within us, but we see ourselves different, and we don't show people that compassion. Because of it today, a lot of people are losing that confidence within us, right? A lot of people, there are sometimes, I tell people, some people have their own personal thing that sometimes they want to reach out to people to say it, but they feel so afraid because whenever they see your physical morphology and other things, it tells them that no, I don't think this person is the rightful person for me to reach out to. So tonight I would like to say, uh, we as an individual, we should always practice compassion. Mostly we from the medical place. Uh, a practical example, we have people can say we have two family members that come, two individual comes to the hospital. One is your own family member, and the other you don't know them from anywhere. And the question is, how are you going to treat them? Are you going to take your family member over the other person? And directly it should be no, because everybody are there to have equal treatment. You have to treat everybody the same way. And where we talk about compassion, you must be able to love people, be able to. Compassion also has to do with sharing. There are a lot of us we don't share, right? The kind of mentality we are built within ourselves now, we lack, of sharing. Even when it comes to knowledge, share, we don't want to share knowledge with people these days. We feel like everything should just be good for ourselves and me, myself, and I. That's it, and you don't have time for nobody. And which of course that's a bad mentality. We live in a dispensation that everybody needs everybody. Some way, somehow, you need somebody. No matter that person's status, right? You need them. So in order for people to come to you while you are in the situation that you will need them, you should also try to be there for people while they in need of you. If you cannot show that compassion to them, definitely, when your times come, they are not going to do the same to you. So I'll stop here for now, and maybe as we go on, we'll say some things. Thank you.
Okay, like just to add on what Mr. Mario said, like where you say everyone need everybody. No matter if you rich, whether you are poor, one day the rich man would need the poor person. So for the years, well, Mr. Dolo, can you please talk when it comes to responsibility and to share moral value? How do you look at it in your understanding?
Thank you, ma'am. So, like I said in my previous statements, and I'll say again, but inserting some new words. So here it said, if we look at this faith before coming to moral values and values and responsibility, this thing called faith reinforces everything. Faith actually reinforces our moral values. So if in this word we are receiving negative messages from our family, from the internet, from our cycle, from the community, if we are receiving negative messages, mixed messages that are not aligned to our upbringings, like we talk about honesty, we talk about integrity, we talk about compassion, and even Myers is stressing on empathy. If we are well grounded and if we are well trained and nurtured in our faith, all these things we talk about, is going to be very simple for us. But many people don't focus on their faith. Yeah. So to the question, we look at responsibility in past, episodes. We talk about responsibility, and this is my popular saying that says we are ought to respond to our responsibility responsibly. So come to think of it, yeah, you are, Kebe. You've been given a responsibility to conduct this great episode tonight. Given that you don't have, the quality of self-control, you don't have the quality of moral standards, you don't have the quality of self-respect, you don't have the quality of honesty, of time management and stuff, you wouldn't be a great host for tonight. You wouldn't be a great host for tonight. So if we have been given a responsibility to do, that is, if we have been given a task to perform with our moral values, we are going to respond to them responsibly, with integrity, with honesty. You've been put, as the leader of a small team where you have some financial gains, and then there is a free flow of finance coming in. There is a handsome amount of money coming in, that team. So you being a person who does not, give heed, does not give attention to, your faith, what your faith tells you to do, those right things your faith have told you to do. If you don't give attention to them, you wouldn't respond to those, tasks or that particular task responsibly. Why? Because you lack these basic values. You lack honesty, you lack integrity, you lack self-control, you like time management. You like people management, not time management only, but people management is also, a value that we ought to practice as well. So it's important that we have to choose right over population. I mean, you don't have to follow the fame. You don't have to follow the crowd. The reason why many people are not living a successful life is because they are seeking, external validation. So if you are seeking external validation, and those people whose validation you are seeking are not people who practice faith and moral values, come on, you're going to miss the mark. You're going to live an unsuccessful life. How? Because you have many negative statements being made against you. And you have to choose your character over comfort. Like you people just give the analogy of, the medical people as you are. So you have your brother coming in, then you have the next person coming in as your patient. Who are you going to give attention to? So there where character comes in, there where moral value comes in. So you have to do according to what your policy says, the policy of your clinic or your hospital or that medical facility. You have to do just right. You have to do justice. So I will end by saying that in this modern era, we see ourselves and even our generations yet to come, we all are ought to respond to our responsibilities with our moral values, with faith, and our identity, finding our true self in that which has been given unto us. And we can be able to discharge, or we can be able to respond to those responsibilities responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Duga. What I get from you, like you said, responsibility is like having self-control, having honesty, compassion. So responsibility is like it combines everything together. We are getting there. If you are just joining us tonight, welcome to the Myers TV. Tonight we are discussing why faith still matters in today's world. Okay, now we move to Mr. Gibson, which is our guest for tonight. Mr. Gibson, we are still on the faith and value. So if it comes to self-control, if it comes to consistency and respect for authorities, how did you define that and actually classify it, especially currently in our generation? You have 5 minutes for that, please.
Well, self-control, it comes in many folds. It has, so many uh, characteristics attached to it. But if we look at a self-control biblically, we have different kind of definitions and way to go about it. And if we also look at self-control in our society, in our based on our societal norms, we also have different definitions and way to go about it as well. So let us focus mostly on the societal norms, right? Because from the output of our few panelists, I think the discussion has widely been centered around the societal norms and that of the biblical norms. So I want to stick to the societal norm for now. So when we talk about self-control, how can we go about maintaining ourselves, holding our values, or controlling ourselves, our decisions, and what have you. And if as we discover, you will get to know that even many people today, some of them, they are in prisons because of a lack of self-control. Yeah, even some people today, they find themselves today at a situation or at a place that they never thought of before, but because of self-control. So sometimes you don't have to like be insecure or impressing before you can know that, oh, this is the consequences of not withholding self-control. But remember, sometimes our decisions, self-control, how well you control yourself when you are angry. Sometimes, how do you respond to situation when you are angry? So it also has to to be self-controlling, because for example, you might be mocked at. For some of us who are in different countries, trying to acquire knowledge, education, we know what can pass through. Sometimes we can, sometimes people can be racist against us. Even if you see that person who is, acting racist against you, is someone that you can just hold, and then do something, whatever you want to do. But because of self-control, you have to withstand that pain. You have to withstand that situations, because you know what you are aiming at. So when we talk about self-control, it has a societal value, because it make you intelligent, it make you, it make you who you are in society. It boosts your characters, because if you have that positive self-control, controlling yourself in whatever you do, in your relationship, in your daily life, if you can control whatever you do, even for the medical people, right? Sometimes you may diagnose a patient with a particular sickness, and you advise that person, say, oh, look, you are trying to develop this. So stop doing this, or stop eating this, or stop doing that, right? So it left with that person to have that personal self-control, to control his or her diet, or to control his or her or appetite, to control his or her whatever that will be prescribed by the doctor. So self-control comes with a lot of responsibility, and we should be mindful of that too, because sometimes it can influence our decision, and it can make us to take the wrong decision in the wrong path in life. So that's my take on self-control. I don't know what's the next thing, or if I still have time, or I can stop here as we go for we have.
I guess your time is over now. The guy gave you 5 minutes
Yeah.
and we are running out of time. Thank you for self-control. One thing I take from the discussion now is self-control come with responsibility. So like mostly self-control is about, most of the time when you are like angry, that's the time there are certain people they are unable to control themselves at that moment. But so like let the self like responsibility, like you rightly said, because there are certain people when they are angry, they just get way to handle situation. This is self control because they know how to control themselves in certain situations. Thank you. It comes to Mr. Myers. If we come to moral accountability, how you look at it if you look at the world, faith, value, talk about moral accountability.
You said moral and what? Please be audible.
Accountability, moral accountability.
Uh, you see, Susan, a lot of us today, what have they score our image or images has to do with, like my brother was saying, I wanted to speak to that, has to do with self control. We don't have that self, esteem for ourselves. We just run ahead of doing some things. I usually say to my colleagues, I've been victimized from that. We're talking reality talk now. Sometimes you have to bring it to the show. Sometimes we want to feel like you have all the potentials. You have that kind of integrities. You have that kind of values. You have everything within you. But there is one thing that can destroy you in a trimmer of an art if you don't have that self-esteem. If you cannot control yourself, it leads you to where you don't want to see yourself. At the end of the day, those people who believe in you loses respect for you. They look at you in a negative forms or manner. So you as an individual, you must be able to have that moral responsibilities. Take that moral responsibilities. Know your share that boundaries for you and others. Let people see some boundaries. They have that self-esteem, right? It's not everything you go for. If the other time Philip and myself were talking, if you fall for everything, there's a saying, then you will lose. I think there's a saying like this, right? If you fall for everything, you will lose everything, something like that. You understand it? You as an individual who coming up want to build yourself, having that potential, you get all like we talk, so now we're talking about faith, values, and identity. You have all the good things within you. If you cannot have that moral, that moral self-esteem, if you cannot take your own responsibilities, if you cannot be blamed for those things you do, what happens at the end of the day? Listen, you can take 1,000 years or 100 days or whatever you think you can take to build your character. Just in a trimming of an art, that character can be destroyed. And what why you think that can lead to those destruction of your characters is because those self-esteem that we don't have for ourselves. We just quick to be, most especially with the young guys, we feel like we are so handsome these days. We feel that we are so play, and some of us are experiencing. We almost to lose our integrities. We have to go on our knees begging people for these things that we did. We telling you that's the reality about it. We almost will lose our integrity. Like people was like, I will come out and say these things. I will come out and was like, no, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. We have built ourselves for certain time. But you know what it taught us? It was a great lesson for us. We learn from it. And what happened at the end of the day, we decide to create that self-esteem. No matter how it's gonna be like, we will try to set that boundaries with people and us. Most especially when it comes to the opposite gender today has become a serious problem in our society. That if you don't work on yourself at the end of the day, you will fall for everything. And in a twinkling of an eye, your entire career you have, everything will just end just like that. It ends. Nobody will know it again. It will just end like that. So I'm here today to say to us as a young people, like we created this platform for us young people. Let's make sure to have that moral values. Let's make sure to have that self-esteem. Let's control ourselves. It somehow we live in a generation that is really hard. We know what we're saying. It's hard to deal with. But what happens if you have that self-esteem or that moral value for yourself? There are a lot of things ahead of you. There are a lot of greatness and other things ahead of you, and you will gradually reach there once you try to set that boundary. So I'll stop here for now, and give our other colleagues the chance.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Myers. One thing I get from you that is actually touched me, for me personally, is like the self-esteem. Nowadays in our generation, there are a lot of people don't have self-esteem, especially in setting boundaries and certain things. Like you said, the opposite for us. Yes, as a guy, you don't have a self-esteem on certain things. You fall for plenty things. And like for me, the guys too, like maybe in our setting socially that like you will see like many guys will be coming on your way, so you just think like you are the hot person at that time. But as a female, especially, you have to have a boundary for certain things. You have to have integrity for certain things. You have to have self-esteem and respect for yourself. Because if you respect yourself, others are definitely going to respect you. So now, if you are just joining us, this is the Myers TV, and tonight we are discussing why faith still matters into this world. So now, currently, we are going on a short break for 2 minutes, and we'll be back. My co-host will be joining for the next two. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, my TV, light in the world. My TV, shine on the screen. Voices of hope, living the dream from Africa's heart to the world we see. Truth and culture, Maya's TV, Maya's TV, bringing light each day. Stories that guide us, show the way. One love, one voice, one destiny. Welcome to the future, Maya's TV. A vision was born with a purpose so true. Buena Myers, we honor you. With faith and courage, the journey began. Building a platform for every man.
Mr. Dolo?
Yes, Susie, I'm here.
Okay, can you
Okay,
please say
so all right, thank you for the permission. And I want to appreciate you for the first session. It was great. We are all loving it. And I think we are achieving our goals with the fact that our guest is sharing his experience, not just talking off head, but I mean this is kind of practical knowledge or practical wisdom. He's kind of sharing his insights with us, and we are all being blessed tonight. And again, I would like to say thanks to our followers, our viewers, and your support means the world to us, and you are actually doing great for the Mass Television. And thanks again to our panelists, including our own CEO right here, Mr. Myers. It's good having you with us, sir, and thank you for blessing us with your presence. So, straight ahead, as we elevate this conversation on our faith, value, and identity, just before we end, I would like us to dive into what actually we term as faith versus materialism. I don't know if it should actually be faith going against materialism, or is it we combining faith and materialism? I don't know. Susie, what's your point on that? Should we combine both or should we make them separate?
I think we need to make this separate because faith is different when it comes to materialistic. Again, it's another thing. So, if it comes to
Okay,
the
okay.
materialistic aspect, it's different. So we have to separate it to actually break it down for our viewers.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great. I got that. So, Miles, what's your thought? Should we combine faith and materialism, or should we just, discuss them separately? I don't know. What's your thought?
My brother, I would say let's discuss them. Tonight is their game, right? It's like Baga going against Real
Right.
Madrid, and because they are two different things, and one has to do with negativity, right, and one has to do with the positive side. So I can you just combine them. You cannot take the negative wire and then put it to the positive wire together. What happens is spark up, and that entire place will get damaged. So
Hmm.
tonight we are separating them, and we're going to look at them separately, and we're going to look at the benefit of it. We're going to look at the advantages and disadvantages of each of them, right, why it brings to us. And I think we can do it like that. It's more preferable.
I like the fact that you said we're going to look at both advantages and disadvantages. I mean, that's great, though. So we're going to have an interesting second half, just as we had a fascinating first half. So this show tonight is actually, a very amazing one because we have an awesome guest who is kind of sharing with us practical wisdom. Yeah, and it's kind of beneficiary to us. Okay, so I'm going to ask our guest the same question. You are not going to be left out on this one. So, what's your view on this? Can we combine? Are they intertwined, or we treat them separately? What's your view on that?
Well, I think the two colleagues have given a very brilliant, idea about that. So let me just go a little bit, biblical. I don't think they both works together because you're talking about materialistic and you're talking about faith. So when we're talking about biblical faith and something like that, and I just said a scripture in my conversation about, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, right? Talking about we should not be conformed to the patterns of this world. So if you want to be very, very faithful to God, to your faith, then you have to be, you have to reduce that materialistic height, that love, the love for materialism, you have to reduce it. So I don't think it works together. We have to separate it. Thank you.
Okay, sir. I got your point. I got your point. You've got a valid point. And again, I would like to send my apologies to you for not turning on my camera or opening my camera because that I'm being affected by some allergies. Yes, I'm sorry. For a month now, and I'm praying to God for a total
Where
healing.
is it?
That's why
Where
my
is that
camera is
police
being
instead of
closed.
this job? When the thing is
Okay,
ending,
I'm
Africa
sorry. I'm sorry. We should recover.
will recover.
Alfred, I don't. Yeah, man. Alfred is like, bro, open your camera or send me the pictures of your current status. I mean, I'm going to do that though. Yes, sir.
No,
Thank you
it's okay.
for
I have been
accepting
watching
my
this
apologies.
live. I have been watching this live, and I have seen you on this show several times. So I know your face. So tonight,
Yeah.
not seeing you is not anything. But I wish you well, and I wish you good recovery.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for your understanding. So, yeah, we said, guys, and I think we are all open minded to this thing, and even our followers are also knowledgeable to this thing that the modern life we live now, it actually, and often it kind of measure our success by the money we have, our possessions, and our status quo. That's what the modern life has said for us. Those are the parameters based on our success. It measures how successful we are in a particular field, in a particular career. And it also measures how much we have in our account, the handsome amount of money we have in our accounts. And the possession, it could be land, it could be car, our children, our children are our possession as well, right? Our family, our friends, and all the stuff. But here's the thing that I would like us to look at, which is that faith always reminds us, like we talk about faith, it always reminds us that this worth is not equal to the wealth. Two words. We have worth, that is your value, and we look at the wealth, which is the material aspect. The heels, like Susie, she's going to have her medicure, her pedicure done. She's going to have some nice Barbie dresses, some earrings, Myers, you know what I mean. And I mean, Mr. Gibson, you know what I'm talking about. She's all dope, she's all lit. And these days, our youngsters, our brothers, our sisters, they are all focused on this wealth, on these material things, rather than giving heed, rather than giving attention to their faith, which is their worth, rather than discovering who they truly are. So that's why, I kind of pose that question whether or not we should combine or treat them separately. But here's the thing, we should know that material things, can only satisfy us temporarily because we are only here on earth for a little while. And again, while we are here on earth for a little while, we don't know when we might get sick. We just don't know. So that car, that houses, that rings or whatever jewelries you have, you're not going to wear them when you are made in the hospital or you are taken to the sick bush. You're not going to wear them. But what is lasting or what has a lasting impact on our life is our faith. I repeat, what has a lasting impact on our lives, our family lives, and that of our friends and others is the level of faith we have and the amount of faith that we show out to people, not the material things. So lasting meaning and lasting purpose faith has on us. So I would like to ask the question to our guests, and then we have a round table on this particular question. Like, how do we balance material success with our moral and spiritual values? Like you talk about spirituality, right? So how can we actually balance this material success with our moral and spiritual values in today's modern society? So what do you have to say?
Well, I think we have to be mindful, especially we Christians, right? If, for example, you have your faith, maybe you might not be even Christian, but you have faith in another supreme God. But I just want to give this example, this biblical example, right? I think the book of Luke, right, chapter 12, verse 16. In that scripture, Jesus was giving a parable. He said, there was this God who went and he harvested enough food. So he decided to store this food. So while he's storing this food, he sat down and he said, yes, I have so many things. I have food. I have everything. So if a famine comes, I have enough food to eat. So this guy, he failed to understand that the survivability of man, of mankind, is solely in the hands of God. So for that reason, God got angry, and That identical
Right.
day did not pass by and he was dead. So today in our society, some of us, we say we are believers, we are Christians, but we have our faith in our material possessions. We have our faith in our in the money that we have in our account. Do you know that some people, whenever they check their account, they have that pride that can come in them, that they have that that assurance that, oh, if something come today, if famine come today, if disease come today, if virus break out today, I have enough money to buy medications. If sickness comes my way, I have enough money to take care of myself. But they have forgotten to know that your true faith in God is what matter. That is why he said in Matthew chapter 33, verse 30, say what? He said, put ye the kingdom of God first, and all other things shall be added unto it. So the issue of faith, you have to place faith above your materialism, right? You have to place faith above material
Hmm.
things. You have to place faith above everything you are doing. So, in order to balance it, you should always place your faith in whatever God you have your faith in. It should be above your materialistic. So it doesn't work together. If you want it to work together, God is not against you having everything in life. No, God is not against you enjoying in life. No, but how well, where do you place that things in your heart that the love of God should be it? So if you have love for God, you cannot place, the love of material things in your heart above God. So where is the place of God in your life? So before we talk about the material things, but nowadays some of us, we believe in material things. We believe in everything. That is why we are working hard every time to earn these things, because we believe that having those things, we are going to be we are going to safeguard our potential positions in society, or we are going to be someone great in society. So we are working hard, and we are working harder to do everything. But my brother, whatever we do, we should see our best to place our faith in God. Whether you want to become a doctor, you want to become a professor, whatever, place your faith in God and you try to work after that. So I think that's my contribution to your questions, and I hope and I hope I make a little sense. Thank you.
I mean, you actually make a great sense, and there was an eye opener right there, though. Not just a little sense, but a great one. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you just made a point, and which is biblical. So I believe like other religions, they have their own holy books, and which they do talk about faith. Their spiritual leaders do teach them about faith and things. So I captured two things while you were speaking. That is one, commitment to your faith, what your faith instructs you to do. And the next thing I also look at is alignment. Is a person actually giving 100% or 90% to one thing, and the other is being left, with a low percentage? For example, I remember Jesus saying to some of the people in the Bible, I'm sorry, I just can't quote the scripture because I'm not like the pastor, son Myers. Um, I'm sorry about
We
that.
see what let's bring it here. We see what let's bring
So yeah, man. I mean, that's it. So like, I remember Jesus saying to them that you just can't worship two masters. We know that. Even in the Muslim setting, even in the Buddhism setting, the Hinduism setting, in the Sikhism, whatever religion, we know you just can't serve two masters. Jesus said that you're going to give rise to the other. That is, you're going to be committed more to the other, and then to the next. I mean, you just give less time, less attention to. So what I captured from your explanation was commitment and alignment. So Miles, what do you think that our people, our friends, our family, our loved ones get? What do you think they can actually do to be committed to their faith and also prioritizing their material wealth? Because come to think of it, in this life, man, we have to be successful both materially And we have to be successful religiously because at the end, after this life, there is another life. So, Maya, what do you think about that? What's your view on this?
Philip, there are these things. There are this thing I learned from the late Dr. Miles Maroon when he was teaching. He's talk about your job and then that of your work. There are a lot of us
Let's
do
have it.
not understand a particular thing, right? We don't know what is our job. We don't know what is our work. Our job is what we go to do and then we earn from. And our work is what we are being called by God in whatever fields we are being called. That's our work. You understand? And most of us today, we don't understand that particular setting. My brother, in order today, that we're talking about faith value today, you as an individual, the first major thing you need to do, my brother, identify who you are firstly. Know yourself, right? Know who you are firstly. You have to know yourself, right? And know what you are being called to do. When you understand all these things, you will understand how to move on with your own life. Today we live in a desperate situation today that a lot of us young people, we just run for everything. We just run for every day. We run for things that is not necessary to us, but we feel like it's necessary to us. So when I try to read between the line and understand that, let me use myself as a practical example. I know my job and I know my work. I don't allow my work to fall within my job. I balance it, which have to do with your spiritual life, spiritualities, and what have you, and try to do with your morals or your physical things that you do around you. You as an individual coming up, my brother, you must understand these things.
Right.
Balance the equation. We live in a world today that all around us we see a lot of our colleagues are so materialistic. We use the word, right? Materialistic. Everybody want for everything. Everybody want to be looking good. It is not bad automatically. I said to you, it's not bad. Even myself, yeah, I like to look good. But do you know what happens? There are something within me, right? I have that self control that I don't just run for everything. And we want to say this today. In order, to read that
Right.
mark that you want to you must have that self esteem, right? Know that once it is now your time to get that particular thing, know it is now your time. Do not do other things to try to get it, right? There are most times today in our setting, we see a lot of our people want to get it, want to get it the easier way. And what happens the easier way? It lead you to the short forms, right? While your colleagues are there ending their own the rightful way and leading them to the long term, to their long term goal and other things. But you that try to, you want to get it so fast, what happens at the end of the day? You end up short, right? Everything about you just end
Hmm.
in a treatment of
Hmm.
an art.
Right.
So I'm saying it right. We as an individual today, the first thing we must try to do is to have that self-esteem. Do not run for everything. Do not run for everything because on a daily basis, on in a second, every minute, there are new things that comes to our face or our faces. There are new things out every day the world is bringing new things to us. And when you are not mindful, and as this thing comes, what happens? Our mind try to bring some strategies that, but you think you young man when you try to do this, you can get to that place. And if you are not far sighted, right? What happens at the end of the day? You try to run for everything, and you will fall for nothing. So the
And
best thing to
Miles,
do
you
is to
talk
like
about
I said,
mindfulness. You talk about mindfulness, which I like best, and which I've seen many people are practicing. So I'm going to look into Kebe's direction, being a female, because these are people who are ought to be very mindful. And then maybe I'll come back to you. Yeah. So no, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. So our host tonight, Maya, you talk about, distinguishing your job from your work. And your work is what God has given you, and a job is what man has given you based on your physical qualifications and that which we know. Now, looking at the word mindfulness, two things comes to mind from Miles' explanation or insight on this question. And he talks about gain in one thing and loss in another thing. So it's about a win-win proportion or a win-lose proportion. Now, do you actually think that material success becomes the only goal, when one kind of focused? on just gaining material things and not giving heed to, their faith? And do you think that they actually get lost in their faith? Or do you think that one actually focuses on his faith, that is giving full commitment to what his faith has told him to do? For example, we talk about humanity, compassion, honesty, empathy, blah, blah, blah. We've all talked about these things. What do you think? Do you think that if one gives attention to only material sources, is going to lose in faith, or is going to lose in faith? Or if one gives his or her attention to faith, it's going to be, materially poor? What's your position on that?
Firstly, thank you so much, Mr. Dodo, for such question. One thing I want to establish here is material is temporary, like you gain at the end this stage, like you gain the world, at the end you lose your soul. So, like for our generation now, one thing many people are lacking in our generation is they don't know what they stand for. You know that in our generation
Mm.
now, if you are telling people that you are into Christianity, especially if they come to, like they see you preaching the gospel, telling people to live right, they yourself know that they call us different names, they call you different names, they'll be like you are the one, but they forgetting to know that they are only like the material aspect. If you get material thing, it's only for a short time because the moment you die, judgment, what is staying to gain at the end of the end of the term. So like for our generation, one thing we are so much lost into materialistic thing to the extent we lost our dignity because we want to follow the trend of the everything that is happening now. Like people will be like, my friend is doing this, I want to do this because we feel within ourselves but we don't follow the trend. It means that we are not living the life we want to live. Forgetting to know that I can tell anybody, you being a Christian, though, not being a Christian, though, but you can live in Christ because the same things those outside Christianity do. You can do your own in a special way, in a Christ way. But there are other people, the one that will feel like if they are not in the train, it means that they are not existing. So you see that many days, like our guests and our peers have been carrying away by peer pressure. Like for example, even in school among children, like a new place is open, if their parents didn't take them, they go on campus. Their friends will tell them because there are certain parents they just train up their children anyhow because they say they want to they live it and they want for their children to be exposed to things. Yes, no one is doing for your child to be exposed. But you look at it in the sense that Mr. Dolo, there are certain parents who take their children anywhere. And if your child come from a good home, go on campus, then their friend be like, oh, my parents take me to this. You notice that your child come home, they want to pressurize you to take it, especially that it's not good for the child. So for a child to be faithful first to grow that faith and to know what is there for, it start from the home. If the child don't come up in that type of Christianity with like to value to know God, if you know what is there for, you'll be like, if you go out there. For example, typical we are out here. In our example, in our student setting, there are many people that are out here today. At the end of the day, they leaving this place without going back home. They are not getting what they came here to do. Because for me, I can say that they didn't know what they want. Don't forget about all us having financial issue. There are certain people they have full financial sponsorship, but still. So before you do something, but we allow the trend of this society or this generation to carry us, they will totally forget of who we are by losing ourselves, our dignity for almost something like that you met here, you were just live it here and live. That's my point.
I like your point, and I like the fact that you just called our attention to the responsibility of family and community, that which we're going to conclude on because we have approximately 10 minutes. That is, we're going to be 1 hour, 40 minutes on this live stream. So, yes, 45 minutes. So from now to 1:45, an hour 1:45. So the 10 minutes we would like to mass it so we can just bring in the responsibilities of families and community in balancing our faith, our value, identity versus materialism. I think that that would be great for us. That would be a great ending point. But before we transition to that, I'm going to ask our guest, Mr. Gibson, to just give us a practical example. We know we've all, Susie tried to be practical enough, likewise Myers, but I would like you to be more practical, giving us a real world example how one can actually be or become successful, in their faith, and then they are successful, in their wealth. It's about worth and wealth. How can one leverage their faith to become successful in their wealth? What do you think about that? What's your own practical example on this?
Well, I think the issue here is how well we place our faith, like I said before, because mind you, God is not against us having wealth. He is not against us having whatever that we want. But what he's actually against is that whether that thing will take attention away from him or your loyalty. So in today's world, if we want to be successful socially, let's say socially, and want to be successful spiritually, we have to balance it. God is not against riches, right? But we have to be very honest. Number one, if you are doing a business that could make you rich, you should be honest. You should be honest in earning your profit. You should not inflate prices. You should not cheat your customers. So these are some of the things that can, these are practical examples that can make us to keep our spiritual value at the same time we are chasing our, our social
So,
riches and all
Mr.
of this.
Gibson,
So
Mr. Gibson,
yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about cheat. You're talking about cheat. Like
yeah.
you are a business owner, and then you have a client or customer walk to your business early morning or an afternoon or whatever time to purchase an item from your shop. And that day you haven't gotten any sales, you haven't made any sales, and that's your only opportunity you have to, I mean, get something. And the price for this commodity or the price for this item is like $50, and you be like, yo, bro, this is 150. Like, come on. That is the only chance I have. That's the only chance I have to make money that day. That's the only sales that I have to make that day. So come on, how do I do that? How do I do that?
Yeah, I think there where moral value comes into, right? But it's actually wrong. It's not about, oh, I don't have this. And that is why the scripture says that if your left hand will cause you to enter in hell, you should cut it off, right? So it's not only about what you will eat, what you will wear, and what you will have. No, it's about you being honest to your faith in your business. You earning your profit on a holistic scale, right? You are not cheating. So don't say, oh, this giving situation, I should use it to benefit myself. No, it's not good. You are not balancing your faith with that of, with your moral value. You are not balancing it. So don't go for, oh, this is the opportunity that I have, and so I need to make maximum use of it. No, how well are you using it? How well are you balancing that situation with your faith? So I think it's a cheating. So you have to be very honest. You have to earn honesty. So if you
Thank
are
you so
earning
much.
honesty, if everything comes in honesty and if it comes in bulk, God is not against it. So God is not against riches, but how well you are honest to gaining that riches. I think that's what we should be looking at. Thank you.
So that is it. How well we acquired our wealth determine
Yeah.
our worth. So this is
Yes.
what our guest is saying to us. How well we acquired, how well we raised, how well we earned our wealth, the materials determines, our worth. So that is it. And you rightly put it. And I mean, I don't want to be condescending on this thing, but just few seconds because we have 5 minutes to end, and Susie is going to end us on the role and responsibility of family, and community in our faith, blah blah blah. So I don't want to be condescending on this one, but you found Miles that we have many people who say they will claim, "I know my worth, I know my worth, I know what I valued." But come to think of it, guy, they are not practicing consistency. Is it you knowing your worth by saying, by denying that girl, I don't love you, or by denying that boy, I don't love you? Then you say to us that you know your worth. Is it based on your relationship status code that you are saying to us that you know your worth and you know what you value, and forgetting the consistency aspect of what you are claiming to be? Forgetting your responsibility, forgetting your self control, forgetting time management. Miles, what do you think of that? People making that statement. I don't want to be condescending on this because I will
Philip,
actually,
let me
highlight, yes, sir.
let me just say to you, you don't have to blow your own trumpet, right? People blow your trumpet for you. People know who you are. You understand it. All you need to
I
do
like
is
that.
just to play your part. Do what you think you can do,
I like
right?
that.
Let people blow your trumpet.
Mm,
Don't sound your own trumpet, right? You don't tell people, oh, uh, I'm so this, I'm so that. No, 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 no. Let people classify you to be that, because there are other people watch us, right? Everything that we do on a daily basis, there are people taking statistics of us, right? You know, there are people watching your footsteps. There are people watching on a daily basis.
mm,
Every
mm.
single thing that you
Right,
do, they have records on it. And the day you make mistakes, they take record as well,
right,
right? So let people be the one to say, yes, oh, Philip is this kind of
right,
person.
right,
Oh, Philip is not
right.
that kind of person. Don't be the one sounding your own trumpet. You understand it, right? Like I wanted to take us somewhere. There were two men who
Right,
went to pray. You remember in the
right.
book of Luke, chapter 18, and one man was telling, saying that, "Oh Lord, I tell you,
Mm,
thank you. I live for me. I can sing. I can do this. I can do this." Right? And you remember the other man who was a tax collector. He was like, "Humble, right, God? I've come before
mm,
you for mercy.
mm,
I've come because I am a sinner." Telling God, how he's grateful to God, but yet still he's broken down because of those things that he have done. And you know what God did at the end of the day? These two men who went there, the one who were telling God that he's wrong, God, he have done this. God was able to forgive this man. He want to say, yeah, this man. You know, that's the thing. You don't have to sound your own trumpet in all. Just you know, just be who you are. Do what you think you can do the best, and people will say
just
yes.
be
And
who
people
you
will say
are,
yes.
do what you do the best, and we all going to give you the credit. That was just rightly put up, Nias. Thank you so much. So I will end on this one punchline that says faith often teaches people to do the right thing even when no one is watching. So, which we call integrity. So, the thing we say integrity is faith. The thing we talk about time management, my people, is faith. The thing we talk about respect for others is faith. So, consistency, responsibility, self control, they are all faith. Thank you so much. And we're going to end this session with our host. Ma'am, thank you for the time. You can take over and then do what you have to do.
Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, co-host tonight. Thank you for that session. Now due to some factor, we want straight into the role of families and community. Like if we talk about faith and value, family play a key role in what society like the community do. So we'll rapidly Jones or our guest for tonight. So just take 2 to 3 minutes of his time. So just tell us the role of family and the community if it comes to faith and value.
Okay, so you hear me?
Yes, sir. You
Yes,
have
sir.
three
You are
minutes,
audible.
please.
Okay, so you said the role of family, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I think the family has a very important role to play in our society because if a family is destroyed, meaning a society is destroyed. Because a family teaches moral values, teaches faith and what have you. Everything we're discussing it derives from faith. Because, for example, I remember when I was growing up, my father used to wake up like in the morning and wake everybody up. Oh, we have to have this devotion, and after that, he would talk to us he takes like 15 to 20 minutes to talk to the children, right? His children. So in his speeches, he will always talk about how you should live in the community and how you should, how you should behave and what have you. So and that alone, it changed our life because we came up with that lifestyle because our father played that key role in our life. So family today plays an important role, pivotal role in our society. So if we have the family that is wayward is a burden to society. So family has that important role to play in our society because every one of us we belongs to a particular group of family, right? Everyone that is on the street passing around, they came from family. So their upbringing can influence their actions or their behavior in our society. So the way well they are trained is how they are going to display that training that they got from their parents. So I think we as a parents, we should see our best to nurture our children. We should see our best to nurture them for the best in society. Because if we just allow them to come up whatever way they want, it won't be good. They become a liability to society. So we have to take note of that. And this is a very key topic for another day, but the time allotted is very little to speak more on this. So I will stop here and give, and give it to the host. So thank you for the time and thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Thank you for having being here tonight. Okay, now we wrap up our show for tonight. Mr. Myers, what is your advice, your final advice, and your key takeaway tonight? Just 1 minute, please.
Thank you. So, all in all, I would like to tell every one of
Give
us
the CEO
our
30
faith,
seconds because of being a CEO. Give me 30 seconds.
uh,
Okay.
so our faith is our core value that we stand for. Every one of us know your faith is your core value that you stand on. That every positive thing or negative things you do in life, it comes from your faith. So I would like to say to us tonight, please, let's always think positively. Let's try our possible best to do those positive things. Let's not blow our own trumpet. Let's do what we can do. Let our faith comes when we are in challenges, when we are broken. Let's use our faith to overcome those things that comes our way. That at the end of the day, people will appreciate. Oh, thank you so much. I know Susan want to cut me off.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Myers. Quickly, we'll go to Mr. Dolo. Your final advice and key takeaway for tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. So quickly, today's conversation actually reminds us that faith is not just about our belief, right? It's about our values in action, our time management in action, our respect for others in action, our respect for leaders in action, our respect for ourselves in action. The honesty we carry, the integrity, our personal responsibility, how we own our actions, whether bad or wrong, we can give an account of it, right? So this is what we've been discussing today, and it's important that.
Okay. Mr.
Thank
Dolo,
you,
thank
ma'am.
you. Okay, finally,
Thank
we'll
you,
go
ma'am.
quickly to our guest for tonight. Okay, a final advice.
So nice,
A
you
final
laughing at me,
advice for
right?
tonight. Mr. Gibson, just take 2 seconds or 3 seconds to give me your final advice, please.
Well, thank you again. I just want to say, whatever you do, try to balance your faith with that of your moral value. So, because you cannot do away with the both, right? You have to see how best to balance the both and see how best to work after them. And also, my advice to the family today, especially parents, will be let us try how let us try our best in bringing our children up because we see nowadays there are a lot of things we are seeing online, a lot of things we are seeing in our community that is very bad, that is very, very demeaning to our society. But sometimes we know some of the children you can instill all of the best training, the hard training in them, but at the end of the day they still go wayward. But I'm saying tonight we should keep up our fight. We should keep bringing our children out. We should do everything that we can do possible to see our best to instill that training in them, so that when it comes out, they cannot depart from it. So thank you. It was a good show tonight, and thank you to our good listeners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks to our viewers. Thank you for following us tonight. Tonight's topic was what face matters in today's world. So thanks to our guests. Thanks for honoring our invitation. See you on our next show, which is Friday.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that was good. Good to
You
see
said
you,
next
sir.
show
Thank you
when?
so much.
Friday?
So, Susie, oh,
Friday.
yeah, Friday,
Oh, okay.
Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
Yes.
So Susie,
Yeah.
you made Maya laugh at me. Susie, you made Maya laugh at me. Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I will say that on my own. Thank you.